Hey, welcome to Rust Revival Garage. My name is Tim. It is almost time for the Good Guys show in Columbus, and I'm hoping to be going to that Saturday. Today is Monday. Now, I'm having an issue with my 68 Pontiac LeMans, which I very much want to take with me to this show. I'm in Columbus, so it's not like it's a long drive, but I also have to figure out this problem with my fuel pump. So let's get to it. All right, so what's going on in case you haven't been following the channel? My 68 LeMans has been running great. I got it out for the winter, drove it around for a while, everything's fine. Last week, I decided to do some prep for the car shows kind of thing. And it started running really, really rough. Black smoke was coming out of the tailpipe. It was idling way too high, and I'd seen this before. The fuel pump started pumping way too much fuel, right? And I toyed around with it a little bit, tried to figure out if I could, get things adjusted, started it back up. It wasn't doing it, which kind of tells me that it's on again, off again, but it's still something I've got to figure out because, yeah, I can drive to the Good Guys show in Columbus. It's only about 10 miles down the road kind of thing. And that's not an issue. But next week, the week after that, the following Saturday, I'm going to be at the Pontiac Nationals. And that's about 2 hours away. So that means I've got to go from Columbus, Ohio up to Norwalk, Ohio and back. And I can't have this problem. So I've got to see what I can do to hopefully figure this out. But one thing I wanted to do right now was start it up, see if it's doing anything right now. All right, gonna give it one pump, see what happens. Choke's on. Seems to be running pretty much normal. Let's take it around for a drive and see what happens. So far so good. She's actually idling at about 800. And again, no smoke coming out the back, which is nice. So this may, if I left this alone, it may never come up again, right? But my concern is, you get out on a trip somewhere, you're away from home, and it starts acting up. What do you do? I'm gonna get her warmed up a little bit, then I'm gonna check some things. So far so good. She's running normal, down to about 500 RPM, normal temp, all that. But what do I do if it starts having an issue with the fuel pump again? I have an idea. Let's see what happens. So a simple solution for me would be to get a new fuel pump, right? Problem is, this is a Pontiac. There aren't a lot of choices out there for Pontiacs. I'm sure there's probably a dozen different brands and varieties of fuel pumps for Chevy 350s. But for me, it's Carter, Delphi, and maybe some weird Holly thing, fuel pump that's like $300. And that's frustrating. I bought a new fuel pump for this. It's got maybe 10 miles on it. Perfectly good, normal looking fuel pump, right? It started doing this, immediately. As soon as I started driving it, fuel was pouring into the carburetor, black smoke was coming out. It was bad. So I don't know if you know all the horror stories around this, but for the past, I want to say 3 or 4 years, fuel pumps, even good brand name fuel pumps, have just not been working well at all for anyone. It's not just me. Do a search on YouTube for any fuel pump issues, and you'll see that you have to buy 5 hoping to get 1 to work. And that's really a shame because, I mean, seriously, if you think about it, nobody's getting decent fuel pumps anymore, and nobody makes any good ones. They're all made in China now. And I know it would be easy to blame the Chinese, but what we really need to do is blame all the people that are in charge of these companies, like Carter, who used to make a great, standard, sturdy, quality fuel pump, and now they're all trash. All of them are trash. If I've got to buy 5 to get 1 working fuel pump, and even who knows how long that's going to last. The fuel pump that's on here is maybe 2 years old that's working. Well, up until last week. So, I mean, you know, it's these companies need to be called out. They need to be held accountable for saying, we'd rather make more money and give you a crappy product than to actually have this product made here in this country. Even if I'd be willing to pay $90, $100 for a fuel pump instead of $30, $40 for one that doesn't work. They need to be held accountable. I'm sorry, I got to rant a little bit about this. This makes me mad. And it's something that, if they would at least do some kind of quality control checks on the stuff that's coming over here. But no, they don't care. They don't care. These companies just want to earn as much as they possibly can and throw it out to you, and you have no choice but to do what I think I'm going to have to do next. So a couple of people suggested in the comments, Ogre's Speed Shop, thank you for sharing your video. But it's something that you almost kind of have to do, they told me. You have to get a fuel regulator. And it makes me mad. And here's why it makes me mad, because I'm curing a symptom. I'm not curing the problem. And the problem are these crappy fuel pumps that are over pumping. I don't know, something is failing in them. And either they start off just over pumping, or like this one, they start to go bad after a while. And you can't tell whether it's the gas you're using. And I only use ethanol-free fuel. But you don't know what's going on. And he said the best thing for you to do is to put the fuel pump on, or the regulator on there. And that's so frustrating to me. I should be able to just replace the part. I mean, I really should, and solve the problem. So I'm going to try the fuel regulator and see if this helps. I didn't get the whole gauge and everything that goes along with it. I'm going to see if I can just hopefully try to figure it out, make sure I'm getting enough fuel and all that. The other problem that I have too is I've pretty much just got rubber. I actually use fuel-injected fuel lines, so hopefully it's a little sturdier and longer lasting and can handle the pressure. But I don't have like metal lines that I can tap into and use the ANCI fittings or whatever like that. So I've got to use these sort of nipples, put the hoses on here and clamp them down. And that kind of worries me, because you're building, if I am building up pressure, and I'm going to try clamping this one side that, where it comes in, and hopefully it doesn't pop something, because this bad fuel pump, or going bad fuel pump, starts putting way too much pressure on this, and then I start spilling fuel everywhere. So frustrating. But I'm going to give this a try, see if I'm still getting normal, consistent fuel coming up to the carb, and I can drive it, so that if I do suddenly have a fuel pump that starts over pumping, hopefully I can still be able to drive and get home and whatnot. It's the only thing I can think of doing at this point. And I'll try it for, if this works, I can try it for the Good Guys show coming up, try it for the trip to Norwalk and back for Pontiac Nationals, and hopefully everything's okay, and then maybe figure out a more permanent solution here. Just as proof, this is a Carter fuel pump. Made in China. I'm not making this up, folks. Used to be a great, great company. Comprehensive vehicle coverage for 100 years. Yeah, 98 of those years they were made here, and now they're not. Okay, this is a 4.5 to 9. What is it? This is a 4.5 to 9 PSI regulator. The farther down you go, the more fuel pressure. So I'm going to put it just at its very beginning. Lock this nut down. That should hopefully give me around 4.5 to hopefully 5 psi. I don't need 9, that would be crazy. But I think the Pontiac service manual is 4.5 to 5, maybe? We'll see. But I'm going to do it at its highest setting. So the farther out it is, the less pressure it has. Now I'm going to do something a little stupid. I'm going to cut into the fuel line and put the pressure regulator between those two hoses. I know you're supposed to put the bracket up somewhere and have it all perfect up in there, but I just kind of want to see if it works first, so don't kill me in the comments. This is not permanent. I just kind of want to check to see if it works or not. Alright, not as bad as I thought it would be. Got gasoline in my eyeball. Oh, that stings. Alright, that side's on. I need to get this side a little farther down. Alright. So I'm going to do 2 clamps, again, because this is where pressure might build up. Let's give it a try, see what happens, see if there's any leaks or any issues, or if I even get enough fuel going to it. Let's check it. Back up, drops down to idle, nice. Running very well. So it's getting enough fuel. There are no leaks. So the only way to really truly tell is drive it on the road. Idling in the garage is one thing, but I gotta see if I've still got power. Still has power. Yeah, I know having my fuel pressure regulator just swinging back and forth down there like something in the wind, not the best idea. And what I can do is get some more fuel line and maybe attach it to the rail somewhere there, then run it up to the carburetor. Not a bad idea, but I just kind of wanted to make sure it worked first. Still has good power. If I floored it, you never know, but I'm not going to do that. What I need to do is get it back and check for leaks. Guess what, guys? I did a little bit of research after making the video yesterday on the car and wanted to figure out what was going on with Carter and why the quality has gotten so bad, and I found out. Get this. A private equity company bought Carter, and they also owned Fram, which tells you a little bit, and Jasper and a few other things. And the private equity company has just declared bankruptcy. Carter has completely closed down operations as of April 30th of this year, which means this company no longer exists. There was a company in Logansport, Indiana. They laid off all the people. I think there were like 38 people working there, engineers and steelworkers union, and other people all lost their jobs in Indiana. And they weren't even making the carbs here in America anymore. And even that company, the First Brands company, went bankrupt. Just to give you an idea of what these greedy bees, I won't say the word because I'd have to bleep it, but just to give you an idea of what these greedy private equity people do, they buy up a company, they take out a loan in the company's name, pay themselves. And when they pay themselves, they get rich. Then that puts the burden on the company to owe that amount of money and try to pay it back, and then they just go out of business. So Carter no longer exists now, and a bunch of people became billionaires just to do this, just to destroy a company and make money for themselves. A handful of people made billions of dollars, and I'd love to be able to find out their names and figure out who it is, and then they just close up shop. That's it. Carter's done. I now no longer even have a bad access to a fuel pump anymore. And it makes me mad. Like I said, I'm sorry I'm ranting in this video, but it needs to be said. Share this with others. Let them know this is terrible, because I don't have access now to almost anything. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to let you know Carter doesn't exist anymore after 110 years. And that's not good for this country. It's not good for the people that work there. It's not good for the people who have cars that depend on quality parts to keep them running. I don't want to switch this to some fuel injection piece of junk. Okay, so hopefully I'm ready to go. It seems fine. Power hasn't changed. I don't know if it's doing what it's supposed to do, but if for some reason that fuel pump starts over pumping fuel, maybe I'll be okay. Hopefully I don't blow lines and all that kind of stuff, but I guess I won't know until I know. But like I said, I am planning on making a more permanent setup for that. But again, just kind of wanted to see if it worked. But if you have suggestions for me, leave it in the comments down below. I'd appreciate it. If you can, give me a like if you got anything out of the video. Subscribe if you're not already. I'd appreciate it. Like I said, Good Guys Show, Columbus, Saturday. So short video today, just kind of wanted to get this out. The other thing to watch out for is there is all the people that are coming to town for Good Guys, I try to sneak out to one of the hotels in the area and check out all the cars. And usually I can give you maybe a night before preview of what the Good Guys Show will look like. I did it last year, went to one of the hotels up the north end of Columbus and captured a bunch of cars. And so, yeah, hopefully I can get that in. And then I will be there on Saturday. If you're going to the Good Guys Show, hopefully I'll see you there. If you see me, ask me, I can get you a sticker for the channel. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in, and we will catch you Saturday for Good Guys.